Hey, Bob Filka here for the Friday Finish the week of February 23rd, brought to you by our partners at the Michigan Propane Gas Association. This week in Lansing, all eyes were on the governor as she gave her last State of the State address as governor. While I'm sure you did not have the opportunity to watch that speech, you may have heard some clips, but we wanted to provide you a short couple-minute clip of where the governor talks about housing and its importance. As you'll note, she calls out Republicans and Democrats and thanks them in support of their efforts to pass a whole series of bills related to zoning reform. All those bills we as an association are in support of. Local governments have come out with guns a-blazing, saying we're the evil developers trying to take over their job. In reality, these measures do what I would say is similar for codes. Back in Michigan, back in the day, every local community could establish their own codes for building. Fully recognize that that didn't make good business and investment sense for the housing industry and for homeowners who want more affordable housing. Same type of concept here is we maintain local control, but if these measures get signed into law, they put common sense parameters around them so you can have greater predictability as you go from community to community as to what to expect in that process. You will soon be receiving a call to action notice from us as these bills move forward for votes. But you don't have to wait for that. This issue is vitally important to counter what local government is doing to try and influence this vote. We would really appreciate you taking the time to contact your local representative or senator. Let them know this is hugely important, not just for our industry, it's really for the people of the state of Michigan, so that those barriers to building more attainable housing in our state are removed and that we have a common set of general rules for zoning and development in our state. And with that, that's a wrap for this week's Friday Finish. Hope you have a great weekend, everybody. Hey, March is right around the corner and we'll see you next week.
Next, let's talk about another national issue we must tackle together: housing. In the 90s, I bought my first house as a 28-year-old. Now, if you're 28 years old right now and you think that sounds crazy, you're right, because a lot has changed. Since then, we know how much has changed. Just 1 in 5 homes today are sold to first-time home buyers. That is an all-time low. The median age of a first-time home buyer is 40. That's a record high. And the average income of first-time home buyers is $97,000, also an all-time high. It's hard out there. There's a multi-million home shortage nationwide, while the majority of houses that are for sale are totally unaffordable. We're also seeing a widening gender gap in home ownership. 25% of first-time buyers are single women, while just 10% are single men. I know some people were surprised when I spoke directly about young men in my speech last year. But why wouldn't I? A governor should care about every Michigander, including the 1 million young men and the 1 million young women who call Michigan home. I want all of our people to succeed and put down roots in Michigan. They should be able to buy a house and start a family. They deserve a life that's just as good and hopefully better than their parents. Unfortunately, it's too hard and too expensive to build new housing today. Tariffs haven't helped. We rely on Canadian lumber and Mexican drywall to build homes. And tariffs have raised the cost of a house by upwards of $17,000, further exacerbating our housing shortage. Now, we can't change national tariffs. Believe me, I've tried. But we can build more quality, affordable housing in Michigan. We can do that. So our solution so far has been pretty simple: build, baby, build. We've invested more to build housing than any administration in state history. We set and smashed our goal of adding 75,000 homes a year ahead of schedule. We're at 86,000 now, on track to hit our new target of 115,000. We closed our housing gap by 44% And our home ownership rate remains higher than the national average at almost 75%. And we helped more than 6,000 Michiganders buy their first homes last year with record-setting mortgage and down payment assistance loans. I also directed our housing department to connect more young men and women to our home ownership programs. Because whether it's your first property, the home you raise your family, or the place to retire, everyone should be able to buy a house that meets their needs and stay in it long term. This year, let's continue making it easier to build more housing. There are some common sense ways we can get this done. First, a new state-level affordable housing tax credit. There's already a federal affordable housing tax credit which incentivizes the construction of housing for working-class families. And with a state credit, we can build thousands more homes every year. You know, Michigan's the only state in our region without this tool. And once we create one, it'll unlock more federal dollars too. So we need to get this done because too many workers are being priced out of home ownership. Firefighters in Traverse City, nurses in Fraser, teachers in Chelsea. And there are two more things we should do to build housing. One, demolish nonsensical construction requirements. And two, streamline zoning. There's still too much red tape that gets in the way of shovels hitting dirt. So let's make it easier to build in-law suites and multifamily homes. Let's modernize lot sizes and setback rules and parking requirements. By improving zoning and building codes, we can build more homes quicker and at a lower cost. You know, Michiganders love the character of their communities. Whether you crave the hustle and bustle of a busy downtown or the slower pace of a quiet main street, every community is different, and that's a good thing. For too long, however, our laws have made it easy to expand suburbs, but hard to build walkable downtowns and main streets to do more with your own property. It shouldn't be so hard to build the homes people need in the places where they want to live. Young Americans want to live in areas with good jobs, great restaurants, unique businesses, concert venues, sports stadiums. To attract and retain young workers, let's build the kind of homes they want in the places they want. Representatives Grant and Aragona, Wooden, Merriman, Neely, Fairbairn, Senators Irwin and Kavanaugh have been leading on housing, and I want to thank you. We've come a long way together, but we must do more. In 2026, let's continue our mission to build more housing, make cities and towns more fun, affordable, and safe, and help the 28-year-olds watching this speech buy their first home. Together, we can give every Michigander a chance to live their American dream.